I looked like the combination of Normie Pool and Peter. I totally did not mean to do that cosplay, but hey, it works. Also, shout out to the free socks. I promise this will have nothing to do with the rating. Hey there, Cinephiles. Today, I'm reviewing Deadpool and Wolverine. This is the third Deadpool movie and the first one in the MCU, and it's also the first rated R movie in the universe, and well, it's memorable, which is a lot more than you can say for most of the recent MCU films. Not talking about you, Guardians, but man, is it finally good to see the merc with the mouth in the MCU, and to have it work pretty well, even though this is not perfect by any stretch of the means. This is really just a fun old time with some obvious flaws in it. And speaking of which, let me just get that over with. Now keep in mind, there's a lot that I like about this movie, but I do just want to get over the negatives first. First off, I really just wish the visual effects people just had more time to actually perfect their craft. There are plenty of scenes in which the CG just does not look there in the slightest. Not exactly sure how much this movie cost, but man, does it look cheaper than that. There are also fun fights in this film, but man, they could have been shot better, at least most of them. Including the one that is a very obvious homage to Oldboy and Daredevil, but it just didn't look great, and CG had to do with some of it too. But my biggest complaint is definitely the villain, or at least one of them. It just felt like they were randomly picked to be in this. I just wish the villain made a lot more sense thematically and actually fit into the narrative a bit more. Because for a lot of the runtime in which you do spend with the villain or just around the villain geographically, I never really loved any of it. And aside from a few things, this villain just felt like it could have been in any Marvel movie. But enough of the negative, let's get into the positives, and by God, the power of friendship is alive and well. The fun I had with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds is just off the charts. I loved nearly everything about their dynamic. For both of the characters being able to balance heart and levity, this was actually a pretty nice surprise. I do wish we got to see a bit more of this Wolverine's past before Deadpool, and I thought of the perfect way to tie in the villain into that, but in the end, we still do get a pretty dang good Wolverine in this. I also want to shout out a lot of the writing and the quips and one-liners. There's so many wonderful ones that I was bursting out laughing. My favorite one that I was able to write down was Death by Day Player, and just overall, this movie actually had a good amount of filmmaking jokes in it. And just in general, a lot of the comedy in this movie just worked for me. Sure, it can be very juvenile at times, but most of the laughs for me just came from the in-world characters and just them acting how I wanted them to act. That combined with so many fun surprises, you're bound to leave this movie theater with a smile. And even if you don't, this movie isn't going to appease every single person. In fact, if you like the other Deadpool movies, you're probably going to love this one, or in general, if this is for you, you will know very early on. And if it's not for you, I am so sorry for that runtime. But I gotta say, this was for me and this was for many people in my screening, and I'm glad for it. I'm so excited to watch this again with a packed theater because this is going to be such a people pleaser. And man, I cannot wait to see how those surprises will work in a full crowd. At the end of the day though, this is just fun, quippy, and bloody, and it's just such a great time. There's a scene in here in which it just proves how badly I need Deadpool to be in a Mortal Kombat game, especially for a little upgrade he gives himself very early on. Truly, this is the type of movie that just feels like you're drinking a great soda pop in the sweltering heat that is summer. It may not be the best for you and you may feel like crap after, but during it, man, you're just enjoying it. And despite its obvious flaws in which it wears on its sleeve, there's so much to enjoy about this movie, and so much of it is spoilery, and please do not spoil this movie for people if you've already seen it. Encourage other people to go see it, but do not give away anything because there are so many wonderful surprises in this film, and I'm going to be thinking about them a lot for a while. Overall, I'm so glad that Deadpool and Wolverine delivers on so many fronts. From the majority of the characters to some fun cameos to some wonderful action that's shot not the best. There's a lot to root for in this movie, and I'm sure so many people are going to see this, and this is going to be a smash hit. Even though it may not be my favorite movie of the summer, it's still a damn good one. I give Deadpool and Wolverine a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Shout out to that dog, man. Dogpool is just wonderful. And again, shout out to all of the fun that they are so clearly having on set. At times, it's just truly infectious. But alright, those are my thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine. Be sure to let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite Deadpool movie down in the comments. As always, thank you guys for watching, liking, and subscribing. Be sure to stay tuned for more Yeti Films content, and I'll watch you later.